So the first game of the season was at Penn, one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, we played at Penn. That was a long trip out there, and we were competitive for a while in that game. But it was evident that we weren't the same team up front. I mean, Penn was outstanding, and like I said, we had our chances, but we took a pretty good loss there. What was that final night?
It was 12 to 30.
Yeah.
12 to 30, yes.
Yeah, it was a little closer than that. And they kind of rolled away from us later in the game, but physically up front, we weren't as good as we were the previous two.
Okay. Now you guys dominated Terre Haute North 49-14. I think in that game, Willie Collins scored 5 touchdowns. Then you guys had a tough game against Gary Wallace. Give us a little feedback on the Gary Wallace team during that time, because and when you coached, they was a solid ball club.
Well, Coach Templin did a great job, and they had a great football program, and man, they put through some players for a while, and that was just at the tail end, of their run, and we just weren't able to pull it out.
Gotcha. So that season, you guys finished 3-6, which is way below expectations. But it was a mixture of things, the scheduling, as you stated before. The interior alignment.
Did we have Providence Catholic in the middle of that year?
Yes, you did.
That was the killer.
Yes.
That was the killer that season. We went out and played Providence Catholic, and we had to go down Route 80.
Yes.
And we're going down 80, and we had gone to a couple camps prior to that, but all those kids were gone from our camp experience out in Joliet. So I think our guys thought going down 80 and seeing all those cornfields, we were going to play a bunch of country pumpkins. And everybody in Illinois is well aware of Providence Catholic, and many people in Indiana, but I don't think our team at East Chicago was well aware of it. Yeah. And they just came off, and I mean, they hit us when they came off. We came off the bus, and they did a terrific job. We never responded from that loss. That was a tough loss for us.
Wow. Now you guys are in sectionals. You beat Great Westside pretty easily, 54-20. Now you're going against the Hammer High team, which you guys are favored. Give us insight in that game.
Well, we're kind of expecting all right. 3 years in a row, we're going to get to the semis. We're going to be able to get to the finals, and we just weren't ready to play. I think that was a microcosm of our entire season. You could sum that game up and just look at that game and put that on a DVD, and you would know what the other 9 games looked like. In that we are a team with potential. We had we could move the ball at times. We could stop you at times. But when crunch time came, when our back was against the wall, we weren't going to come through, and we did.
Wow. After coming to Central, and basically, you turned the whole program around. You did a great job. A lot of kids went off to school. A lot of students became great people. I was a freshman during that time, and I remember I was in school, and there was a big rumor going around that Coach E is leaving, and then it ended up being true. Ended up going to Crown Point. What took place in that situation?
Well, I think the major thing was my family. At the time, nobody really heard of Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating, and my wife and my mother-in-law got that thing off the ground. That was going to be a force in our life, and our kids were getting older. We had moved into the Cherville school system, and our kids weren't athletes, but we wanted them to have opportunities in a lot of different areas. We knew they were going to be excellent students, which ultimately they are. In fact, our 2 youngest are graduating this spring, Carl, from Clemson in Colorado. And we were looking to get them in a smaller situation, and Crown Point, Brad Smith had just resigned, and the job had opened up here at CP, and we thought it'd be a good time to just relocate and put the kids in the same situation that I was in. So it wasn't so much East Chicago as family opportunities for our children. The other thing is the administration was starting to change. Things were changing in East Chicago quickly as they are today. When I first got there, we had fantastic administrative support. I was still getting support up to a point in time, but was very concerned about the political waves, political winds, so to speak. Sometimes you don't know always which way they may blow there.
Exactly. What are some of your fondest memories at East Chicago?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I think the weight meets with the pizza afterwards, just sitting there and having fun with the guys. We had some wonderful times, laid back times. I'm sure that you had with Coach Richards in the cleat house and hanging out there in the couches. But I think our biggest thing that we did early in the program to bring the community and the team together was we cleared out a field behind the Chevy place on Chicago Avenue, right by the projects in Calumet, and they did a great job. The city came in and lined the field for us, and we got fire trucks to come to the facility, and they filmed it, and then we had a big barbecue, and I know the Florence family had a big part in that, making sure everything, we had hot dogs and hamburgers and some ribs, if my memory serves me correct. But it was just great seeing the kids sitting down, and then the younger kids coming around, and I don't know, maybe you were one of them, where they were giving you autographs, and it was just a cool situation, because it was a picnic. It tied up the end of doubles. It was your big red-white scrimmage before you were going to start the back in those days the Aramas, but it was a great situation.
All right. Now you're heading off to Crown Point Bulldogs. Give us your experience on that.
Well, it was up and down. I think, like I said, from a coaching standpoint, it probably would have been better off me staying at East Chicago. From an athletic coaching point, from a family standpoint, it was a better move to come to CP. We had some success. We had 3 nice football teams at Crown Point, and then we had 4 years where we were more of a rebuilding process. But I got great memories down here also, along with some just fabulous memories at East Chicago. So it was 2 different situations, 2 different parts of my time in my life. At East Chicago, I think the thing that I really enjoyed was the amount of time we spent with the kids, with the players. We were with them almost 365 days a year, and we needed to be. We provided a place for them to work out. We played, we were a lot younger then. We were playing basketball against our players. We were lifting with our players. We were doing a lot of different things with the players. As you get older, and as you know, being a father, your own children start to take some time from you. So it was 2 different times in my life.
In 1995, you was once again nominated Coach of the Year at Crown Point. Now give us some experience on that situation.
Well, it's funny. We talked about it earlier. You were talking about the success at Creekmore and the success at East Chicago and the success at Crown Point, although not as extensive as the other 2 places. Biggest key, we had some nice linemen again. We had a very, very good skilled players in Dave Warney 1 year, and then Brian Parker the next. Again, probably the common thread was the tailback position, although Warney played wide receiver and running back, where Parker was primarily a tailback. And then, again, we had very solid offensive linemen, people that were good athletes, worked hard, and were committed to the weight room.
Now that year in the first round of sectionals, your opponent was East Chicago Central. What was your feelings on that game?
Boy, Carl, now you're tipping my memory bank. I wish you had talked to me about this earlier. Give me the score of that game.
12-35, Crown Point.
We had a couple games. Cause, I think Crown Point or East Chicago beat Crown Point. Boy, 35-12. I think we were just physically superior than them up front.
Yeah. That was my junior season. That was my junior year.
Yeah, we just we were an ISO power team, and we were able to just. You guys just weren't old enough yet.
Yeah.
You know, you guys were a year away.
Okay. What's the difference between the athletes at East Chicago and the athletes at Crown Point? What's the difference?
Well, the biggest difference, I think the biggest difference is opportunity. The opportunities that the kids have here at a younger age are far surpass the opportunities the kids get in the inner city. I mean, you can't even compare it. So consequently, a lot of these kids down here are ready to go. You know how to line them. They know how to get in a stance. They know what a three-point stance is. They know what a football play is. I remember when we gave Royce Roberson his hip pads the first time. He put them on backwards. He had the toe pad protecting the family parts. So, you know, that might be the picture right there. That the kids here, just because they're exposed to it, they have more worldly experience at a younger age than the kids that we had at EC.